Hey everybody, this is Chris, M2Go's Rexstart, and back for another episode of Show and Tell, the ongoing audio-video deck tech and replay series that covers the decks of the Legacy Tribal Wars format as they're played every week in the Tribal Apocalypse Play Run event. And this week we have an interesting combo deck, which was run to first place by a newcomer to the event, Bazaar of Baghdad, who is a classic player, joining us for the first time on Tribal Apocalypse. And he is gone with a Goblin Charbelcher deck. And it's a little bit different than the ones that you may have seen elsewhere. First of all, let's take a look at Goblin Charbelcher. It costs 4 to play, 3 mana to activate, and you reveal cards from the top of your library until you hit a land. If you hit a mountain, which this deck always will because every land is a mountain or has the mountain subtype, it does double the damage to the number of cards that you reveal before you hit that mountain. So the deck's game plan here is to use Dwarven Recruiter to stack the deck, the top of your deck with dwarves. You'll need at least 10 of them to be stacked on the top of your deck. That way you ensure that when the Goblin Charbelcher is activated, it hits the requisite number of cards so that it does lethal damage with the one shot from the Charbelcher. So that's the main engine here. It's an interesting way to approach using dwarves. I've looked at the tribe a bunch of times. Dwarven Recruiter is one of the more powerful options, but the problem has always been that the rest of the dwarves don't really do all that much. What do you benefit are you gaining out of chaining them, unlike when Goblin Recruiter, which is not legal in Legacy, I believe, it used to be used to stack the top of your deck. You can't do as much with it, but all that matters here is that the cards are not lands, so the Goblin Charbelcher burns through them. In Vintage, Goblin Charbelcher is usually used in no land variations, so that's never a problem with the various artifact mana and everything. And in Legacy, you usually use one land and use Land Grant to strip the one land out of your deck to make sure that that works. And the one land is always a taiga, which is a mountain anyway. So Mana Severance was also used, I believe, in Extended in a combination with Goblin Charbelcher at one point in time. But this is an interesting way to approach Goblin Charbelcher. Let's see what else he's included here. He's got Duergar Hedgemage, and he has included a which I'll include in the text portion of the article, some notes about the deck, but he said basically he used this to pick off any problematic artifact or enchantment. He noted specifically ones that would give a person Shroud as ones that he was trying to kill with Goblin Charbelcher. None of those are commonly played in Legacy Tribal Wars. That would be, say, Witchbane Orb or Leyline of Sanctity. Those are really sideboard type cards. You rarely, if ever, see any of those cards in play in a format where there aren't sideboards. So again, unless somebody was, for some reason, had a Stony Silence or a Null Rod or something preventing this from going off, these guys weren't going to do their intended function, but he may have gotten some incidental value out of them. He's got Dwarven Miner and Dwarven Blast Miner. Dwarven Miner, 2 and a red, tap, destroy target non-basic land from Mirage, and then Dwarven Blast Miner, just about a strict upgrade on it because it has Morph, the same ability, same casting cost, and the only difference is it has 1 fewer point of toughness. And these guys, especially Dwarven Miner, it's interesting that Blast Miner is actually better in most respects, but Dwarven Miner comes from the era where they were still printing cards for new sets with a mind of eternal formats, and we're trying to cut down a little bit on the power of non-basic lands in eternal formats. For instance, you would see things like Gorilla Shaman to blow up Moxes, and this guy to blow up non-basics, and things like Blood Moon got printed, and Back to Basics and all that back in the day. Wasteland, of course, is the one that has survived with the most play to this point in history, but that comes from that era of Magic where they weren't afraid to print things things that were very powerful land destroyers as long as they were targeting non-basic lands, because they were really still imagining that whenever they built a new set, the people were playing it with all the other sets. That isn't really the design philosophy anymore. They would look at this and go, oh, you're going to blow up some poor kids, M10 duels or something with this, and never make it past print. But anyways, these got printed, and he's rounding it out with a Bloodfire Dwarf, which I picked up 3 in Invasion Plane Chase Apocalypse drafts, apparently. This guy actually in IPA draft is a nice sideboard out to have against people who use Life Death as a finisher that makes all your lands into 1/1s. But other than that, that's about all this guy is. And I guess against a Weenie Swarm deck, he could get some time to set up his combo. But what he's mainly using for that to buy time is Ensnaring Bridge, which he said was very successful for him during the event. And he can empty his hand fairly quickly. He's got Chrome Moxes in the mana base here, and he doesn't really need doubles of some of these mana intensive guys here, so they perfect Chrome Mox fodder. So get your hand emptied and then sit there and hide behind it in Snaring Bridge until you can build up your combo. And it's surprising how many people don't play any kind of versatile removal. Oblivion Ring's about the only thing people ever routinely play that would blow one of these up, except for certain sort of decks that have a toolbox that might have a guy that sacrifices to blow up an artifact or enchantment. So in this format, it's a very interesting card, especially for somebody like him who isn't interested in attacking himself to just hide behind while he sets it up. Digging for his combo pieces, he's got Faithless Looting, and also Magma Jet, which is the removal of choice for people who are playing combo decks. The Scry 2 is quite nice in helping you dig. So anyways, he was able to take down Kavuz in the final and win it. So congratulations to Bazaar of Baghdad with your Dwarven Charbelcher deck winning the event this week. Join me in a minute. We're going to take a look at AJMP unlocking an achievement.